Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Audrey with Windy Creek Acres. Welcome back to those who are following us and continue to follow us. I appreciate your support. And to those newcomers, hope you continue to follow us. Check out our other videos and hopefully we share some similar interests for you to stick around. Anyway, today I'm going to kind of try and clear up some things. I haven't made a video for a little while and in my past one I said I was going to follow up with a few things. We'll start with, I guess I made mention in the last video about my health and my mobility. I guess I can speak a little bit about that. It's nothing serious. Trying to see different doctors, trying to figure out what's going on, but it's just multiple joint pains. A lot of it is arthritis. I have 2 feet that are not good. In my one foot, I have a healing stress fracture. And in the other foot I have arthritis in the navicular and the small bones in my foot, so that doesn't allow me to, I guess, walk very good on days. I'm never gonna have good function in that foot. It's never gonna be normal again. I talked to a surgeon. They could fuse those bones together to take away the pain, but I'll still not have full function of that foot. So we're just going through the motions to see what I can do regarding the pain. And not gonna lie, as a nurse, you need your feet. That's my background training. I am an LPN. And when I'm working, I'm on my feet all day long. So if I don't have good feet, I can't be a nurse in my mind. I need to be able to do the things I need to do when I need to do them there, and that's not a possibility. So me being home, I am on long-term disability right now, looking into my options. I've been on disability for a year and a half or so, trying to see doctors, trying to figure out what's going on with me, trying to get better, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, there's a little bit about me. Next thing, I said I would touch on our male livestock guardian dog that we lost. And I apologize, this video is gonna pop all over the place, but trying to just compile some videos I have, and that's gonna be later about our new puppies training. So I'm gonna touch on our livestock guardian dog, Trigger. So we raised him from a pup, as you know. I think we got him when he was 11 weeks old. When we lived on the acreage, he started there. He grew up with our golden retriever, learning behaviors from him, just manners more so. Our retriever was an indoor dog. Trigger remained outside. At that point, we only had, I don't know, a dozen chickens or so, and we had a horse and a llama, maybe a couple of horses. So that's kind of what he learned. He was mainly there for the poultry, because although we did live on a 5-acre acreage, we were in a subdivision of acreages, but we still had coyotes coming in. Coyotes or foxes, something. We had a few chickens go missing, so we started off with that, because I think at that point when we got him, we knew we were going to move, and already having my first dairy goat being boarded at a friend's house a couple miles away, we knew we were going to be moving, and I didn't want to have goats unless we were going to have dogs. So that was had to go hand in hand for me. Anyway, we got Trigger when we were on the acreage. He was 11 weeks old when we brought him home. He learned the chickens. He loved the chickens. He did really well with them. He did good with our bigger animals as well. He was in a fully fenced yard because we only had that 5 acres. And then when he was closer to a year, so we had him for quite a while in the acreage, but when he was closer to about a year, I think it was when we moved to the farm. So he was an unfixed male. So we did the whole thing. We walked perimeters with him. We left him in a chain link pen that was here with a dog house, and he remained in there when we were supervising him. And my cockapoo thinks there's something here. Disregard that. And then he eventually grew to take control of the whole farm. He did amazing. Like from the start, he never left. I was always checking up with the neighbors to see if he would leave, go to their place, and they never seen him. So they said he would go to the county road, but he would never cross the county road. I don't know. He stuck around. He was well bonded to us, very, very bonded to us, and loved the chickens. The chickens came with us, so I think that helped him stay. Plus, he had more area to cover. He was just amazing. I can't say enough things about him. It's going to be hard to replace him. Not that we're replacing him, but we need another dog to take over the duties that he did so well. It was last fall, and I touched on this a little bit in our previous video. It was last fall, so about a year ago now. I came outside and what happened? I went out to do chores or check on animals. I can't remember what I was doing. And there was a stray dog. And these stray dogs that come to our yard once in a blue moon, more so in the summer than any other time, has been collared dogs. So GPS collars or something. I'm not sure what they are. They might be the boundary collars. I have no idea. But the dogs that are coming here are collared dogs, so something's not working. And Trigger took off after this dog, chased it down the alleyway out into our pasture. This dog, I think, was like a German Shepherd looking dog to me. So yeah, I went and chased it around in the pasture for a little bit, and then chased it out down the alleyway and out away from our yard. I'm not sure where he ran it out of or to, but when I did call him, he did come back. And when he came back from that chase, he was limping. He could not put his left hind leg down at all. There was no weight-bearing abilities at all. So he did. Then after that, I did put him behind the barn with some of my goats, and that is where he stayed. And I thought, well, we'll make him a vet appointment. He did see 2 separate vets, just to give me an idea of what was going on and if we could fix it. So I guess the options were mostly surgery, or to get him a brace, just to support that leg. The brace was to support the leg while he was on duty, essentially, so he still could work, but he would never be in the yard again because he'd never be able to defend himself if something was here. So he would always be in with the goats, always penned up. So that was an option with the brace. There was always an option with surgery. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this surgery is called TPLO, maybe. And what it is they go in and they essentially put strings, I don't know what the other word is, but they tie it together around the joint where the ligament has been torn, to hold the joint together so that the joint will fuse together. And that in itself was a very pricey procedure. We live in northern Canada, and that procedure itself I think was going to cost us $6,000. Plus we would have had to have traveled, and that was upwards of, a 5-hour drive for us to go and get the surgery done. And then after the surgery was going to be really intensive physio. He would have to live in the barn in a stall with very limited mobility, basically going out to take bathroom breaks and then right back in the stall. So then yes, and that was for like 3 months, I think. Just for the fusing to happen with the joint. That was supposed to take his pain away, but again, he still wouldn't have his mobility. I guess now that I think about it, it's kind of like my foot. You do the fusing of the bones to take the pain away, but you still don't have the full function. So that's where we were at. Then upon further vet appointments, just to get some second opinions, same thing though, same surgery. They could do a lesser surgery, but I just, would have been $1,000 or so. I can't remember exactly what the surgery was for, how it was going to help. But again, it wasn't going to allow him to have that full mobility, to be out in the yard working. And that's where his heart was. His heart was in the yard, not in the pen with the goats. While he loved all the animals here and the people, he preferred to be out in the yard doing his job. He was miserable behind the barn for that time. Also, sorry, on that second opinion, we found out that he had arthritis in his hips, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it wasn't now only just that he had a torn ligament, he also had arthritis in his hips, which I have arthritis too, and it's not fun. Being on pain medications daily, still again not having proper mobility. He would never be able to defend himself or anything else here for that matter. So we opted to kind of leave him behind the barn, keep an eye on him, give him pain medications when he was looking like he needed something extra. He did get to the point where he could weight bear when he was walking. So it was okay while he was in the pen. I had him with very, very good does who never ever challenged him, never pushed him around, but he was amazing with them. He still worked in his small pen behind the barn, but he was miserable, absolutely miserable. And that's kind of, we let him live out the winter to see, sorry, that's a wrong way to put it. We kept him through the winter to see where we could get with him, to see if he'd, be okay behind the barn or out in the pen with the goats. So we gave him, the winter. And while he did fantastic where he was, still working, still barking, still working the perimeter, the small perimeter in the pen, he still kept an eye on absolutely everything. So that then came to us making the decision this spring. He being in pain almost daily, which pain medications daily is not good for your body. That and the fact that he was just he was miserable. He loved to see us, he was happy to see us, but he was not happy in his environment and his new job. So yeah, that's when he went over the Rainbow Bridge, and now he's up there guarding us from up above in the heavens. Sorry, it's still hard to talk about this to this day, just because he was so amazing. But yeah, he's up there looking after everybody now. So while he was super amazing, he did his job. We are now left without a dog in the yard. Now, do we need a dog in the yard? Maybe not, but I feel much safer with a dog in our yard. We have a creek that runs like our whole quarter. And creeks are a good kind of gateway for all types of animals to travel. And I myself just feel safer having a dog in the yard to watch over all the animals from outside the pens. Also to watch over us. You just never know what's going to be in the yard around the corner, or you don't know what's going to be, even people. We live in a weird world that you just can't trust people. Like, we've had random people show up in our yard before. They drive up, they look in the windows, not get out of their vehicles, and then they turn around and leave. So it's unsettling, especially, when my husband and I work out of home and the kids are home by themselves, and then they tell us about this. So yeah, it's unsettling. So it's nice to know that we have a little bit of protection somewhere. And while my other dogs are fantastic out there where they are in their pens with the goats, because that's their job, they can't get out to come and help us if we ever needed it. So I am a strong believer that having a dog in our yard, kind of a dual purpose, look after the animals and look after us kind of idea. So, which brings us to Toby. Toby, sweet Toby. Toby's been with us now, I think, for a month. We got him at the end of September. The same time that our lease does went to the other leasee, he brought our puppy up for us, Toby. Toby was a very untouched puppy, 3 months old or so, very untouched, but raised with goats from day one. He is a Anatolian Kangol Pyrenees cross. And if you want to learn a little bit more about him, you can watch our other video. I'll link it at the end here. And that's my silly cockapoo. She's taken over Yard Guardian, but she's not big enough to take it on. Anyway, what has Toby been up to? Toby's been doing a lot of things. He's learning, he's growing, he's being a puppy. He stays behind the barn all night with my does and milk. Then in the mornings, this is kind of our routine. In the mornings, I take him and my female Macy out for a walk. We walk the perimeter of the pens and the pasture. And then what do? Oh, then Toby goes in with Macy into her pen for the majority of the day. I'm going to say that he's in there from about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then when I do my afternoon chores around 3, then I bring Toby and put him back in his pen, as we feed raw meat to our dogs once a day, and that's when they get it, is in the afternoon. So I like to separate my dogs, that way they don't have a chance to be aggressive. So that's just the way we run things. That gives him the opportunity to kind of learn all the goats. He does well with my big milking does because they kind of push him when he gets a little rowdy. They don't push him hard though. I'll throw a video in here, short video, of my one doe pushing him a little bit because he was being a little bit misbehaved. And then when he's in with my female Macy, in that pen is my 2-year-olds and my weanling does. So he still has access now to learn the babies, now that I'm 100% comfortable with Macy in there. Macy's grown up this year. She's got it under control now. Now Toby can learn those behaviors. Macy is super calm, super submissive. So she's very passive. And I see that she's instilling that on the pup, which is fantastic. Macy is more the type to go and lay down with the goats. She gets excited. She does run around them, which is not okay. But the goats absolutely 100% trust her. They are so comfortable with her. So, and I've seen in the past, I didn't get it on video, but I've seen in the past where the pup gets a little rowdy with the goats. A little bit of chasing. He was doing, and that's where Macy would go stand in between him and the goats. I've seen her reprimand him a few times. When I say reprimand, she will get in his face, pin him to the ground, and growl at him, and then let him go. Why? I couldn't tell you that because I obviously wasn't looking before. And then I know I have a 2-year-old doe in that pen who does push the pup. She'll headbutt him. And that's more so, I have watched it a few times, and that's just him having too much energy right up by the goats, and so she'll let him know, hey, that's not okay. I am keeping an eye on it. She is not seeking him out. She's doing what she needs to do when she needs to do it with the pup, and that's what I like to see. I like to see livestock training our dogs, and then I can intervene where I need to intervene. So I'll throw a few videos in here just to show you what we've been up to. Yeah, one more thing. After afternoon chores, I do take the dogs for a second walk. Now this is assuming that we are not at hockey or we are not doing something. I do take them for a walk in the evenings around the perimeter again, and that's just to get the dogs out, because at some point our goal is to have Toby in the yard, so I want him to know his boundaries. And we are looking into boundary collars so that we don't lose him anywhere, or he doesn't wander to the places he's not supposed to be. So that's just a little bit. I will again add some videos, and it's probably going to go over things I've just talked about, so you don't have to listen to them, but they're there, and it's just training as we've been going over this last month, and kind of his personality. He's super lovey. He's such a snuggle bug right now. We pushed him to love us. I spent a lot of time with him. I picked him up, I held him, I played with his feet, trying to teach him his name, so he does well. When we go on walks around the perimeters, he's not leashed. He follows Macy, he follows me, he waits for me on the trails. He is just a fantastic little pup so far. So yes, I will try and update you guys along the way with Toby's training, and I can only hope that he's going to fill those big paw prints that are left here in our soil. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll throw some videos in here, and hope to see you guys on the next video. Bye. So after his excursion with my female, he's obviously tired, so I'm not sure what he was doing out there. But yeah, he's back in his pen now, and these are the babies I have. There's 2 of them, and these are my big does. So, I don't know, everybody seems just fine to me. Nobody's fighting, nobody's wide-eyed, nobody's trying to get behind me to feel safer. So that's kind of how I go on it. Everybody just kind of feels calm. That's his pen that he has access to with his food and his water and his doghouse. He knows where his food is. And I've been giving him, we feed our dogs kind of half kibble, half raw. So they have access to free choice kibble all the time. Hey, Toby. Hey, Toby. He's very friendly now. Yes, a good boy, Toby. Hey, such a good boy, Toby. Yeah. Such a good boy, aren't you? Yeah. You're bratty, Toby. You're not supposed to be out here. No. We're in a different pen right now, and Toby found a hill to play on, keeping him occupied. Dig all you want on that tail, buddy. Yeah, good job, Tobe. Going out to the pasture. See how Toby does with this. So far, so good. He's easy. Trying to graze what's left of the pasture. We're October, what are we today? 16th. I got my 2-year-olds and my weanling does and an older doe out here. We're just kind of finding the last of the greens out here. Doing some training with Toby. Got Macy out here. Toby is being super gentle, very easy to recorrect. He actually doesn't chase anybody out here, not yet anyway. Sorry, that was quick. Just trying to get over here to the puppy. Brought him up for a drink. He seems to drink a lot of water and pee a lot, which is fine. There's Macy. Macy's wonderful. Yes, she had little whoops last night. She carries the grain bins, well, the little like containers I use to feed the goats. She carries it and she kind of chases the does around, so she got in a lot of trouble last night. But Toby was not with her, so he does not learn that behavior. He goes to the back of the barn and stays with the does back there. It's pretty cute to see, but he's her little shadow, which is great. She's instilling her very passive attitude onto him, which is awesome. We're out in the pasture today, so Macy's checking everything out, making sure everything's good for the girls. Yep. And those girls ran away and Toby ignored it. Good job, Tobe. So I know it's hard to see, but my female, who's in this pen with all my yearlings and one senior doe, I just noticed that she's taken it upon herself to dig a hole right here under the fence, Bratty McGee, so that she, I'm assuming, can be in with these girls. These are the weanlings and another dry doe. She's supposed to be pregnant, but we'll see. So yeah, apparently she's taken over that pen too, which is okay. I don't mind, as long as she's looking after everybody. Sounds good to me. But then when I came out here earlier, we had a doeling, a weanling over on this side. So now I know how she got in here. Makes total sense to me now. Yep. Hope this isn't too windy, but this is Macy. This is our female. Her one downfall was hanging out with the weanlings, but they trust her and they're hanging out with her and they respect her, and she is absolutely doing amazing with them this year. So I think she's finally grown up and I can trust her, only because she dug a hole under the fence to get in with these babies, and she's been in with them quite often. So she feels that she needs to be in with them, and they are so very calm with her. They're still learning the puppy, but that will come. He just needs to shadow Macy and figure it out. Yay, good job, Mace. This morning, Toby's having some time with the weanling does and Macy, so we just went for a calm walk around the pen. Now he's gonna hang out. We're gonna hang out in here for a little bit and do some training, because he's definitely chasing. We just took him on a long walk around the outside of the perimeter for him to get rid of some crazies. And now hopefully he'll be calm with these babies, and I'll try and correct him where I need to. Yes, Adora, hi. I don't have anything. Get down. Good boy, Toby, good boy. And that's what you want. You want him calm, you want him to lay down. Not too much focus on the babies. Yeah, good job, Tobe. Good girl, Macy. Taking Toby for a big walk today. We're going around the perimeter, so out by the pasture where we are now, because there was a fox out here yesterday morning that Macy chased away. And so we're going to take Toby for a walk around the perimeter. Get him used to going that way. We'll try it, see if he follows Macy. Macy's being good so far at teaching him. Okay, this is going to be our new training tactic, because Toby has decided that chasing my milking does is a fun thing to do. And when I can't be there to supervise, my hope is him being in with Macy, is that Macy will teach him correct responses. She's very calm anyway, so she just lays here with the goats unless there's something she needs to be concerned about. So I hope that will kind of rub off on him a little bit. and I'll keep a watchful eye on him for a couple of hours, or an hour anyway, when I'm kind of out and about. And if I see she's not correcting him when he's making bad choices, then I will step in. So this is going to happen now for the next few days, is he's going to spend some time with Macy. All right, Tobe, make good choices, buddy. Good boy, Toby. Good boy. So this is behind the barn. This is where Toby stays all night. These are my milking does. So I have one dry doe and then 3 milking does. And so when he is done with the hanging out with Macy for the day, then he comes back here, usually about mid-afternoon, and then he has his raw meat dinner, and then he spends the rest of the night with my does. I do hear him barking once in a while, his big boy bark, so I think he's getting it. I think he's understanding his role now. The does are so very calm back here with him. They're not frantic. They're not trying to get away from him. They're not hiding from him. So I think that Macy's passive attitude is passing down to Toby. He's got a bottom of a pig leg right now that he's had for a little while that he's chewing on. So that helps keep him busy. This pen isn't very big. So hence why we take him out for 2 walks a day. And he does our perimeter. So he does like out behind the barn. We go out in the field, all out behind the pens, all back there behind the pastures, up this creek here, and then around the pen. So like I said, his pen isn't very big, so we do get him out for exercise. This is the safe space for him that we created. So it's just a chain link dog run with a dog house, and then he's got his gravity feeder in there that my darn cats have figured out how to eat out of. And then I put a panel across it so that my does cannot get in there. That's where he goes to eat his raw meat every day. But yeah, he's definitely settling in for sure and learning his role. So that's awesome. And we hope that he doesn't ever hit a naughty teenage phase, because I'm not ready for it. So any tips was fantastic. I do have 3 little weanling doelings that I do put in here in the day with the does when Toby's not in here, so he does not get the chance to be around babies unless he's supervised by my female. And as far as I can tell, I think everybody's definitely learning to like Toby and be more comfortable with him. So yeah. And then when he does get his crazy silly playtimes during the day, he's got my female to play with. So I think it's going quite well. He is playing with her. She kind of gets a little upset with him once in a while because she doesn't quite have the energy that he does. But same with Macy. She has her little bouts of energy, and so she runs around with Toby as well out in the pen when they're together. So I think so far, I believe it's a win-win situation. I guess I couldn't ask for anything better, and fingers crossed that he continues on this good path. Mr. Toby is being such a good boy. We just went on our big walk. There's Macy. So our morning routine is that I finish up my chores, and then I take Macy and Toby for a walk all the way around the perimeter of our pens in our barn. And then Toby gets to spend most of the day with Macy to learn good habits around the goats. And that was an inappropriate behavior from my goat. I'm not sure why she pushed him. I guess I'll have to pay attention to that to make sure that she's not pushing him too much. And yeah, so he stays with Macy in this pen. I have my coming 2-year-olds and then my weanling doelings in here. So Toby gets to learn good manners in here with Macy watching over him. And then around, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, Toby goes back behind the barn with my milk does. I have I have 4 does back there, so I think he's doing very well. Taking Toby and Macy for a walk in the snow. And Bradley. Going the wrong way, Toby. Come on, Tobe. That's a good boy. Come on. This is the morning walk. We do 2 of these a day. Mr. Toby is really good at waiting for me going down the trail. Miss Macy, you can't even see her, but she's way at the end already. I think she just goes and checks to make sure everything's good before we come down. Yeah, good job, Tobe.